R&B diva Bernadette Cooper is up next. Let's finish talking about her, shall we? Everybody out there, how you doing? Thank you guys so much for tuning in over here to Pepe's Point of View. I'm yours truly, Pepe, and we are talking about R&B diva, finishing up talking about R&B diva Bernadette Cooper. Whew. I'm trying to crank these videos out real quick simply because I have to go out here in this hot heat. Okay, it's hard. All right, take care of yourselves out there, people. But anywho, so let's just dive right into it. The previous video I uploaded about Bernadette Cooper, I wanted to talk about Bernadette's album and hearing it in its entirety for the first time. Drama, according to Bernadette. I kind of got a good idea of where I was going without having to go back to listen to the video to kind of get where I was. I think I know where I was in that. Bernadette Cooper album released in 1990. As I was saying previously, someone would probably say, oh, Bernadette Cooper is an artist, an R&B diva that was ahead of her time. No, I don't think so. I think Bernadette Cooper was right smack dab in the middle of it. You never really know why someone's career really doesn't take off the way it should take off. We do know that when it comes to the music industry, someone who is very passionate about your project or you as an artist could be a part of a record company one day, and then the next day you look up and that person has left, whatever, new opportunities, fired, whatever the case may be, and that person is no longer there. For me, I want to believe that Luell Salas Jr. was definitely that guy over at MCA Records that probably gave a lot of people over at MCA Records opportunities, you know. And of course, we already know what's about to happen to MCA Records, you know, with the coming in of Uptown, so on and so forth. Moving right along from that. So it looks as if Bernadette Cooper, from my understanding about the album, is that, you know, he left and he was the one who was, you know, passionate just as much as she was about the album. And when he left, I guess MCA was not really interested in Bernadette Cooper, the artist. And so what you have here, you have the album that is pushed up, it's pushed down, it's pushed back, it's pushed forward. Like there was just not a lot of attention given to the album the way it needed to have the attention that it needed. And I say that because now I'm thinking about even A'ngela Winbush. When she released her self-titled album in 1994, A'ngela Winbush, that featured the song Treat You Right. If I understand correctly about that story, is that A'ngela Winbush left Polygram Records. You know, she was like, hey, I'm out of here. Like she told the record company, like, I'm up out of here. Like, okay, see you. And the reason why, you know, she left Polygram Records was for this reason alone. Luell Salas Jr. had left MCA Records. And I guess Bernadette Cooper probably, couldn't do that, or it just wasn't wise to do that, because her album is definitely right there getting ready to be released. But for someone such as an A'ngela Winbush, from my understanding, when she was over at Polygram Records, she was like, listen here, the people who have been, a part of my career as for my solo career and giving my career the attention that it needed at Polygram Records, well, those people have left. The people who have power has left. They're gone, and so I'm not sticking around trying to figure out, what you guys are going to do with my career. I'm gone. Deuces. And so that had a lot to do with the gap between A'ngela Winbush album being released in 1989, and then we seen her reemerge in 1994. It was the fact that, hey, and long story short, short story long, A'ngela Winbush still found herself in that situation in 1984 because Bob Krasnow, I think, is the one who was responsible for signing her over there. And so now he's out, right there, dead smack in the middle of promoting her album. And, the rest is what it is. So then by the time 1995 comes around, A'ngela Winbush is no longer on, Elektra Records. So what I'm saying is it happens. But when I listen to the album, the album, listen here, you guys, if you have not heard Bernadette Cooper's album, Drama, according to Bernadette, I am not trying to put this album on a pedestal and get you guys to go out and listen to it, to purchase it, to download it. I'm not. I'm telling you, you should. Because you're missing out on such a great work of art. It is. And if you like, and this is the part where I don't know how, if Bernadette Cooper ever crosses this video, how she probably would feel about someone saying this about her. But if you are a fan of, let's say, Morris Day and the Time, honestly, if you are a fan of Rick James, if you are a fan of Tina Marie, if you're a fan of Vanity, if you're a fan of Apollonia, if you're a fan, have I said Prince, if you are a fan of those artists and that kind of music, you definitely will not be disappointed. I was so not disappointed because I like a certain style of music and because I like a certain style of singing. I admit I would definitely have to get into the album. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, like you just have to listen to it. Some music, you have to listen to it and then make up your mind at the end. You see, like, some music just don't get you moving right away. You just have to stop and you have to think. And I think that that's what it is. And I give you a prime example of someone's music who sometimes I have to stop and say, wait a minute, let me try to get into this before I start trying to, form an opinion about it. It would be Missy Elliott. And I say all the time, Missy Elliott, she's not offering us anything new. I know it sounds like, what are you saying? No, to me, even I don't know if she was inspired by them or not, but I really and truly do see similarities of Missy Elliott within Bernadette Cooper and A'ngela Winbush. I don't know who inspired her. Someone somewhere inspired her musically. I don't know where it comes from. But she definitely is not the first one to do it in the style she's doing it. And I know some of you guys are probably saying to yourself, like, this is totally, you're going total to the left. And I'm saying I'm not. It's just that you're probably not picking up on it. These two ladies, A'ngela Winbush and Bernadette Cooper, what I like most about them from a singing, writing, and a producing standpoint is that they are women who definitely are comfortable in their femininity. And Missy Elliott is the same. Like, you talk about musicians, that these, I think other females songwriters and producers, if you will, could learn a lot about them on maintaining that, you know, yeah, in a sense. So that's where Bernadette Cooper is to me. She's right there dead smack dab in the midst, not in the middle, but in the midst of all of this. Okay. And it could be because the industry at the time is changing. It's about to change. She's not getting the attention she needs. And so it kind of fizzles before it even gets any kind of fire to it. Now, let me look at my notes for this one because I have notes. I took notes. So I'm going to look at my notes about the album, trying to give you a general idea of how I see her. Another thing that I want to say about Bernadette before I go into the album. The album is not climax. It's not. It's definitely not a climax album at all. That could be another issue. It's not. Just forget it. So if you are a fan of climax and you're thinking you're about to get you some climax out of Bernadette Cooper, no. What I like about it is that there's certain she takes you back. Oh, well, if you're familiar with some of her sayings and so on and so forth, she takes you back down, you know, memory lane. That's very passe. I don't want to do that anymore. You know, she takes you back down memory lane, but even when she does that, she is not trying to mimic climax at all. So if you can say that the Bernadette Cooper album is her departure from climax into her own, you can very well say that, and you'll be right on the money. But when you think about a song such as I Look Good, you would say, I don't know, Peppy, I don't know. Because I Look Good is climax. I Look Good is climax. Watered down climax without, is it Lorena or Lorena? I'm going to say without Lorena singing on it. I'll give you that one. And maybe now, oh my gosh. I never thought about that. I never, whoa. Like, what would that song have been like if she gave us a climax song? Like, now I never thought about that. We're going to touch on that too. So when I Look Good is released, I see the video. The first thing I go, and this is me. Okay, now we see, okay, I'm going to talk about it. The first thing I think about when I think about the song, I Look Good, think about the video and all of that. When I first came across it when I was young, I was like, oh, okay, that's Bernadette. The first thing I'm saying to myself is that, okay, I'm not taking this seriously. I'm not. I like it, but I'm not taking it seriously. Like, she's not really singing, but I love the song. I'm saying to myself, like, but it's like the song you're saying yourself, but I like it though. I like it. I like it because I get Bernadette. I mean, I know that she's from Climax, so it's like already I'm digging it because I'm familiar with who she is. But I'm wondering about people who probably don't know Bernadette. Like, what are you thinking when you hear it? What I also like about the song "I Look Good," now that I'm thinking about it, when she's in Climax, she's vain. right? I'm thinking about the lyric in the song Divas Need Love Too. Yes, I'm vain, hard to obtain. What is it? Yes, I'm vain, hard to obtain. But anyway, like, she's vain and over the top. Bernadette Cooper, in by herself, she's not vain and over the top with the song I Look Good. To me, that song, I would say, is definitely empowering. It's self-esteem. It's having a good self-confidence about yourself. It really is. You know, it's like, don't judge a book by its cover. Get to know me. That would be, to me, it's not. To some people, let's say, no, you totally missed. No, to me, because it's not so much in your face. Not, because the older, the other Bernadette in Climax, she said, I know I'm looking good. I got on my Vianney Versace blue leather suit. My hair was done. I mean, my nails was done. My hair was fierce, something like that. I was riding in Cooper's limousine. You know, like it's like, but this one here it's not that. It's not that. It's almost like she's making fun of herself a little bit too. You know, she's just, slam me good, baby. You know, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, okay. Like it's she's not serious as she would have been in Climax. I'm going somewhere. So the persona Grand Diva. I'm gonna call her Grand Diva because I don't know the name of her persona. So I'm gonna say Grand Diva. It's a shame because she's a drummer. But we really don't know that about her. She's definitely out in the front, the forefront. We know her. But we also don't know her from a singer. We don't know her as a drummer. We kind of know based off dealing with, the interactions of the ladies of Climax. We know that these ladies are pretty much right now a self-contained hit-making machine. And they're musicians. We know the whole band as musicians. Oh gosh, I don't believe I'm saying this. But without the persona, Grand Diva, then what do we get when we think about Bernadette Cooper? And I know where I'm going. This almost sounds like it's like, what are you saying? But think about it, because her persona is so much out front that what we get is a personality and nothing more, nothing less, because the other things are not being marketed. Oh, see, I know I'm going somewhere. Thank you. We don't even know that Bernadette Cooper is a drummer, even with her solo project. We don't even get that. We want Grand Diva, but those of us know she offers so much more. So then I go back to oh gosh, I'm going to have to do this. I go back to her with the group of artists I put her into. Let me just go with Sheila E. right now. All right. Let me do this real quick. Oh gosh. Hold on, you guys. Just hold up. What I gotta do, what I gotta do, what I gotta do. All right, I think I'm good. Sorry, I was about to do something. Uh, yeah, hold on for a minute. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I have to do something. Glad you guys didn't leave me. I had to do something real quick. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. All right. So anyway, where was I? I can't even remember. Sheila E. So here we have Sheila E., who's a drummer, giving us sexiness, sex appeal. We know what we're getting. But but her sex appeal, she's more of a musician. We know her more of a musician than we do her selling sexiness, even possibly being a songwriter and maybe producing certain songs on her album. Where am I going with this? Where am I going? I guess what I'm trying to do is figure out the artistry that is Bernadette Cooper, right? Like I almost get the feeling that we don't know her as an artist. We know her in a group. Oh gosh, like in Climax, we know her from the executive, creative person behind even Madam X. We know her from producing other artists. We know that. But she's breaking out on her own. And I'm wondering, why didn't we get all of Bernadette Cooper? Yeah. I'm 22 minutes in. Maybe this video needs to be an hour because I definitely have somewhere to be. Why didn't we get the whole Bernadette? What? Well, now, I think it's safe to say, oh gosh, I think it's safe to say that when I'm reading Joyce Cinderella Irby's book, I Still Say Yes. And her mentioning how Bernadette wanted to be up front in the group. You know, she wanted to be up front as well. I'm wondering, now then, Bernadette Cooper then must be very comfortable where she is. She has to be, for the most part, being up front. But at the same time, I'm thinking about how Sheila E. in her shows stands there and she plays those drums, like drums, congos, whatever you want to call it. Like she plays them like never before. And we know the same thing. We know Bernadette Cooper does the same thing. It's just interesting. So let's talk about the album, shall we? The album is great. I think I can do this in 5 minutes. The album is great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. As I said, when it comes to, the album, uh, and I'm listening to it, of course, I Look Good is the first song. I think it was the obvious choice. The way the song is written, structured, produced, the lyrical content, I really think that it was just a safe approach that maybe I Look Good was going to be the first single simply because of the song in it and of itself. Now, mentioned Lorena Lons in the maybe about 10 minutes ago. It definitely could be her, singing the background vocals. I do know she appears on this album, and I definitely hear her on a particular song, but she very well could be providing background vocals for the song I Look Good. And I like it. I already talked about I Look Good, so we're going to move on from that. But then when I get to the second song, Do You Really Know What Love Is? The song to me, I like it. And the song to me sounds like a lot like Bat Dance. Do you remember Bat Dance, Prince, the Batman soundtrack, Prince back in the day? That song sounds like Bat Dance or You Got the Look. You remember Prince, You Got the Look? It's definitely, as I said before, she's giving me in this song a lot of Morris Day and the Time, Prince, Sheila E. Vanity. It sounds like Bat Dance, You Got the Look. The song definitely sounds like that. Now, my favorite song on the album right now, when I get to song 3, is a song called Stupid. I love it. I'm not quite sure why they didn't decide to lead with the song Stupid. Stupid to me, I understand why they chose I Look Good as the first song. But to me, Stupid is definitely the song that should have been released. Maybe the song that probably would have taken her, had people take her seriously, that she was definitely doing this, doing her thing, if you will. Another thing that I like about the song Stupid, and I have to say that this is a safe approach to say it because it's 1990. And it sounds similar to a group that was out, a duo that was out at the time by the name of Damian Dame, Exclusivity. That song makes me think a lot about that. I also like the fact that she mentions about her Aretha Franklin collection. It was like, no, you can't have my Aretha Franklin collection, And this is the point when you get to track 3. Because track 1, if I listen to it in its order, track 1 is I Look Good. Track 2 is Do You Really Know What Love Is? Track 3 is Stupid. So by the time you get to track 3 and you're listening to Bernadette Cooper's album, that's when you should make the assumption that, hey, she's definitely not trying to give us climax at all. I don't think she's probably even thinking about climax or recreating the climax sound. It doesn't feel like that at all. Then you have a song called Let's Be the Street. Then you have a song called Drama, according to Bernadette. But my favorite songs, again, songs that stands out. I like the entire album, but the songs that stand out would be I'm That Girl, I Love It. So if I had to choose at this moment in time, which songs would be my favorite after getting to track 6, I'm That Girl, to me, the first song that I would say I like would definitely be Stupid, and I'm That Girl would be a tie for number 1 on the album. Then I Look Good would be number 2, and Do You Know What Love Is would be number 3. Okay, that's how I would say. So it's a tie between 2, then you got second, and then you got third. Then you have track 7, Howard Hughes sitcom. Love it. I love it. I love the Howard Hughes sitcom track on this album. I love it. Now, if there's a song on the album that I don't like, would be Straight Jacket, Love Affair. Sorry. I just don't like the song. It's what it is. There are going to be some you don't like. I don't like Straight Jacket. Then there's a song on the album called The Underground. And The Underground sounds very similar. It's just my opinion. Sounds very similar to Janet Jackson's What Have You Done For Me Lately? Give it a listen to. It sounds like What Have You Done For Me Lately? Then you have a song on the album called The Agency, Sydney. Don't care too much for that one. And then Nothing You Can Do. Oh my gosh. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So at this moment in time, after hearing the entire album, I'm going to tell you my favorite songs on the album. And guess what, Bernadette? I have four. Four of my favorite songs like a tie. Like there's a tie. I like them all equally. And that would be track 11 is number one, Nothing You Can Do. Another number one, Howard Hughes sitcom, Love It. Another number one, I'm That Girl. Another number one, Stupid. Those are my number ones on the album. And then number two, I Look Good. Number three, Do You Really Know What Love Is? And the other songs on the album are okay. Give them a try. I like them equally, but Straight Jacket and The Agency, I don't care too much for. Now, I'm not quite sure about this climax dynamic. Well, what do you mean? I'm not sure about the dynamics of the of their working relationship because Lorena shows up on the album. And I'm thinking that the ladies are going their separate ways because they're just getting tired of each other. Right? But the ladies are appearing on each other's album except for Joyce. I don't think Joyce appears on Drama According to Bernadette. She doesn't appear, but I think Bernadette shows up on her album. But then again, with the 1990 album, The Max is Back, the Climax album, Bernadette Cooper has songs on the album. So I'm not quite sure about this working relationship between these divas. And I guess the jury is still out on their, working relationship. Sometimes they, do things together and then sometimes they don't. I think it's safe to say for me, I'm still, but there's still time. There's still time for Bernadette, I believe, to carve out that. Well, I wouldn't say carve out a niche for herself. I won't say fine tune. But to me, it's just that what we know she can do, you don't see it on the stage so much. And I know what you're about to say, like, oh my gosh, have you ever been to a Climax concert? You're totally missing it. Well, I'm just looking at from shows, period. Just from what I know, what we see. We see Grand Diva. I would just like to see Grand Diva playing the drums, like in her live shows, like Sheila E. And I don't think she will be in Sheila E's lane at all. I think Bernadette will be in her lane. But, that's just my take on it. She's not much of a singer, meaning that she's not the Patti LaBelle's in Patti LaBelle's category. Oh, gosh, I don't even think she's in the Karen White, Pebbles, Sheena Easton, category either, but the good part about it is whatever she does well. It's a great album. Yeah, so give it a listen. But anyway, this is where the show comes to an end. If you made it this far, I think it's only appropriate to ask you, hey, hang out with me, click the subscribe button. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me and listening to my take on, R&B divas, R&B music. Whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says, baby, remember I love you, but God loves you best. Take care of yourselves out there, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next video. All right.